in this game, they're taking the approach that, okay, ASTER are very good at playing defense. They're good at, you know, holding their triangle area. They're good at preventing us from taking full control of the game, even though we have a lead.
It's less about the amount of games and more about
the intensity.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that, but I think these players, again, LGD are a very, very experienced squad that have been in positions like this before. Oh, actually, pretty good damage down bottom onto XXS.
He needs to hit a
there.
First blood goes the way of Y.
Never even went with the lane they have. Gyro is maxing flat cannon. When you do that, your lane doesn't really kill. It's a 5 Sven. It's going to offer 1 stun and 1 attack, so minimal damage. But what you're doing here is you're making life miserable for the Enigma to the extent that you can. He will find something nice, of course, Faith Beyond with the conversion, but Monet also doing a very good job finding the farm. TP's mid. GQ could go for a toss.
Careful, the toss back into the tower. Avalanche to follow. Nothing to say. Does have to be careful himself, though, as Jinq complete out of mana now. Everything on cooldown. Ori looks like he'll be fine. More TP's coming in, this time via Y. Interesting interaction there with the cookie and the Stormhammer, but it leads to nobody actually dying. Although lots of damage being applied to Siamese Cat on the old Sven.
But not so much about the rest, right? Snapfire, Tiny, and Enigma have a lot of pure and magical damage.
Yeah, they have a lot of mixed damage overall. Yeah. Say TP's into the top lane. Gets the X off. Boat is coming as well. This is looking like a potential kill onto Monet. Gets up a nice rocket barrage, but it matters not, as Jinq gets credit for the kill onto Monet. So 2-0 start here for LGD.
Good spell casting there. Wasted absolutely nothing, got full value out of Boat, full value out of the Torrent, follows Core. Tiny's probably been Thunder Awakened. So they play it on every...
Looking for the X, but not going to find it on XXS, which is what their target they would have wanted it to be. Instead, it's going to be Baboka. Can he time it? No. So it leads to a kill.
If you're Satanic before you get Black Hold and the side gunner is healing you up, it can be a difference maker between life or death. But I wouldn't say, I think soft counter is a pretty good way of explaining it for that reason. It's not like later on that, oh, we have Gyro, we're not worried about Enigma. I think this is a really good Enigma game later.
Yeah, I was going to say, like later on, what do they do?
They have to kill him from range with mainly the Lina, I guess, is an option. If he gets BKB Black Hole off on the Gyro, I think damage is lacking on Aster's side to really deal with him. And he's not the only problem. Like, let's say you do kill him off, you still have to worry about the Terrorblade and the Kunkka in the fight.
The X with the Boat coming, TP's coming for Ori. Boat's going to connect, though. Toss on top of the cookie, and Ori looks like he's going to live through this. And now comes the arena from XXX. Great rotation as Y is going to take the first damage here, and it looks like the Tiny will be next. Double kill for Baboka. Extremely good TP coordination here from Aster, and they might even take the tier 1 tower on top.
There is a glyph, though, and no siege creep. I think Kunkka is going to...
2K lead for Aster, so it's growing slowly as Monet is taking out some ancient stacks now. He is 1,500 away from Aghanim Scepter. And what do people typically go after an Ags these days on the Gyros? They have to hold that thought. The Spear coming in. The Boat not going to connect as a result. Arrow connects on top. LSA and the Laguna Blade, but nothing to say is still alive. That Rum is very powerful indeed. The Starstorm coming. He's still staying alive. Finally drops after seemingly forever. And Ori limping away with just a sliver of HP. Still the BKB available, but looks like he's going to be fine. His Faith Beyond obviously not with any kind of mobility as of yet. So Ori just getting
component, but I feel like BKB is probably the right choice. This is also what he's covering here. He needs to be able to fight at that time of the game. Gyro is a very susceptible carry when he doesn't have BKB, and he does have.
This is going to be an easy setup for XXS and company, and going to give the kill to Monet. Like, all right, I'm done farming for a bit now. Looks like BKB is next on the menu for him to answer our question. But I mean, after that, you likely will go some sort of hard damage and then lifesteal with the Satanic.
Yeah, I guess when you go the BKB route, you probably don't go back for a Maelstrom, right? Even against Terrorblade, I think we're probably going to see, because you can try. I think a mistake that a lot of players make is that they think too much about the carry versus carry matchup and how they itemize. I think a lot of the time it's better to just itemize against the enemy team in general, right? And then someone else is going to help you win the Terrorblade battle, whether it's Lina with the magic damage, all the stuns you have, kiting, his BKB, whatever it is.
Oh, they're being scanned in the pit, so Aster knows, but it's too late. Miss Cat, if he would tank this gank, I think Aster would be very fine with this exchange. He's going to have to use the War Cry. X coming out, though. Avalanche not really going to connect, but still, this is for a support Sven. Spear coming out, does connect onto Jinq in the meantime. Wraith Pact is popped as Monet. Looks like they're going to get the kill onto Jinq first. And now a nice arena coming out. Do they have the follow-up? Black Hole is used only on the Mars for now, but the right clicks from Ori are starting to do a fierce amount of damage. Nothing to say, has to BKB TP. Doesn't even want to bother finishing up the support Sven. Now Ame being chased, homing missile on the way, but the buyback from Snapfire. Looks like that'll be enough for ASTER to retreat, but great.
He's having trouble finding impact in the fights, really.
Oh, this is pretty scary for PSG.LGD. ASTER now smoking up. They have 2 fresh BKBs on their cores.
Yep.
And if they get the jump, this could be just adding insult to injury for PSG.LGD, who are down 1-0 in this best-of-3 lower bracket.
Dire are scanning.
But you can see their spidey senses are tingling. They're grouping up in their own triangle, and looks like they'll dodge most of it here. Low vision now, yeah, Faith Beyond might take the brunt here. Arrow coming, not even needed. But
Spawns.
Counter initiation, Jinkyu gets a nice toss-up, but that's the BKB from Monet, used defensively. Buyback down to Faith Beyond. Doesn't have any way to get inside the battle easily, though. Oh, nothing to say, jumps really deep in. Pops the BKB for himself.
He's just diving him.
Absolutely, he wants to fight. Gets off the Torrent as well as the ship. Trying to focus down Monet. He's going to be close. He's getting very low. Still the focus continues, but nothing to say. He's also taking all the damage. He's out so far, and he's dead. And Faith Beyond, he dies as well. That's a dieback for him. Now the toss back from Jinkyu. Can they get the Lina? Ori, they need to get something out of this. Little Shredder is enough. It's going to cost Y his life, but certainly worth it. But now Ame, he's only here with Jinkyu. And they do enough to take him out here. He's trying to get kited here, but there's the Avatos from Jinkyu. Spear out. Ame with a sliver of HP. They find the gyro finally, as XXS has to BKB teleport away. So PSG.LGD gets something out of it eventually, but my goodness, it cost a lot.
I think Ame was actually don't remember this.
That's a good question.
If it does.
I'm going to say no, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like we knew this before. We've talked about this, but you know, we don't listen to each other, so...
No, so the thing about Dota is that there's things that you take for granted and you remember because they were a specific way for either for a very long time or for a specific time that you remember very clearly. And then there's... Yeah, like since that time, there's been 3 or 4 patches that just affect different heroes in different ways, and it's very hard to remember everything and keep the
I mean, this conversation is a great example. I will not remember this even by tomorrow, most likely. The tier 2 tower now.
What did you have for breakfast?
Omelet.
Okay. You don't even remember, I bet.
I don't actually.
Oh, there you go.
That's part of getting old. Not remotely close, but yeah, they're not going to get here in time. So that's Aegis and Shard, the way of ASTER. Monet, he gets the shard himself. Interesting.
Really thought that I thought that LGD were going to be more successful with this bottom push from Terrorblade and bait at least 1 TP back, but ASTER keep their cool. They don't fall for it. They lose half a tier 3. That is, it is a possibility, but Side Gunner is reliable in the sense that it always attacks the farthest unit away, right? So if Enigma is close to you and black holing you, he's probably not going to be the target that you get the Side Gunner bash on, right?
True.
So it's not really going to work, I think. Yeah. Like, traditionally, in some games, you would go like, oh, hang on, that's no time for that!
Avatos from Jinkyu. Monet already at half HP, but he's certainly fine for now. He's going to get torrented. Controlled a bit. Trying to reset, though. XXS getting kited by Ame, but Monet wants to go really deep. He just wants to use his Aegis. Please kill me! 10 seconds left. There's the black hole from Faith Beyond, only on 1, but it's a very important one in Ori, who dies inside BKB. The right clicks are there from Ame. That's a double kill for him. And the arena comes out. Nice spear as well. Trying to focus down Ame before he can get the Sunder off. He gets tossed away. It's not going to be enough, though. Double kill from Monet as he is just demolishing PSG.LGD with this Aghanim Scepter and right click build.
They were literally playing volleyball with the Terrorblade. They cookied him in and then they tossed him out and he couldn't control himself.
Volleyball
Sunder off. Are not the right one, right? Like eventually you just have to pick one. Yeah. And go with it, and it will be the Silver Edge here, and this has to pay off in a big way. Obviously, we didn't get to cover it, but Gyro with the butterfly was very tanky in that last engagement. They have no True Strike for him yet, with Terrorblade going this route, and even eyeing up Satanic as his next choice currently. Ame might never buy True Strike. Yeah, against him.
Well, we'll see how the next fight goes and see if he changes his mind. As Monet is 3,700 into a Satanic. And actually, I didn't even realize he didn't bother finishing the Daedalus. It's just a casual Crystallis.
Yep.
He went for Butterfly after it.
That order, I think, was really a cool choice in this game instead of finishing the Daedalus. He will get it eventually, but the Satanic is a little bit more surprising.
Oh, Siamese Cat runs into Y. There's the Arena, #1 from XXS because he has the Refresher Orb. As they're going to delete Jin Q to start this fight, and they find the Snapfire as well. So 2 very important supports down for PSG.LGD. Ame, he's waiting in the wings, but they see him thanks to the Sentry. There's the Refresher Orb. Has the Arena, but doesn't want to use it because of the BKB. They're actually kiting him pretty well. Feels like a wasted BKB from Ame in the end, but there's the Arena not quite in range, but nothing to say. Forced to pop his BKB.
Look out for the black hole here!
But there's the tidal wave, bringing Monet into the black hole! Are you serious? What a combo! And Monet trying to right-click a bit, but his right-click from Ame are too much. Double kill for Ame, but Ori going to town on Faith Beyond. Ends up being a 3-for-1, but now the buyback's onto Siamese Cat. Ame has to try to reset. He's going to get the double spear with the shard. Triple kill on Ori. Nothing to say is dead. Will he get the Sunder? No. Ultra kill Ori. Push #3 with Aghanim Scepter. Who the hell takes this action? Now that I look at it, it's a little awkward. Maybe the Mirana? Mars Bulwark?
Lina?
Lina is for the piercing? Oh no, it's a new one. That's
Lina's
right.
is pretty good.
Flame Cloak.
I think Flank doesn't feel great
Yeah.
to have to buy that here.
Not having lifesteal is kind of a big deal. It kind of makes you rely on your teammates and Sunder, which ASTER has been doing a really good job of positioning to avoid the Sunder once the stun durations are over. So it's not been very easy for Ame at all.
He is effectively rendering Monet's neutral item kind of useless.
Well, they made Faith Beyond use his Blink Dagger already, as there's the first Arena, and trying to save his teammate was Jin Q, but he's just going to die instead, and that's 2 dead with no buyback. ASTER in a 5v3 commanding position in this game #2. Faith Beyond going for the BKB Black Hole. It's just on Ori, still pretty damn good kill, but he does have buyback. Monet, he's trying to go to town with the Satanic, he's able to take out Faith Beyond in turn. Ame gets the Sunder out at the last moment, but now he's completely surrounded, pinned to the Barrett, and he's dead! 4 dead for PSG.LGD as GG's come out. ASTER eliminate LGD from TI11.
Yeah, they were just better this game, right?
Oh yeah.
There's no need to dance around it. They were literally just better. The lanes went exceptionally well. Their fight selection was better. Their team fight execution was better. You know, ASTER did come from the upper bracket and drop down here, whereas LGD dropped down earlier, right? So they did good that round further. And ASTER looking pretty scary. Especially, I think the most impressive thing about the series was not the way they won this game, it was the way they won the last one, right? It shows a lot. Some of the teams that we see go really deep in tournaments or maybe even win the whole thing, it's never a given that they're out. 10K down in that last game, it looked terrible. They find a way back. And in this one, when they were ahead, you never really doubted that they could take this one the whole way. So yeah, really good stuff. Love their drafting in this game in particular. A fearsome team to look out for again tomorrow. They will obviously be getting a break now.
Yes.
Sorry, I say tomorrow. In a lot of days, I say tomorrow out of habit. They'll have a long time to prepare for the final stage.